welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today we're ranking Cryptopsy albums from my least favourite to my favourite. And Cryptopsy is an amazing band with an almost flawless discography. Almost flawless. Now, before I get started my list, pop yours down below. What's your favourite Cryptopsy album? What's your least favourite? And let's get started with this list. So, coming in at the bottom is the Unspoken King. You all know why this is last. You all fucking know. Now, I don't hate this like a lot of people do. I actually find this album somewhat enjoyable. But it's enjoyable in the deathcore sense. Because they changed the sound from brutal technical death metal to deathcore. And, you know, fans aren't fucking happy. They weren't fucking happy when this got released. And I can see why. The sound is so much different and it's very jarring. You know, you listen to this, you listen to Whisper Supremacy or something, night and day. Complete fucking night and day. But if you look at it as its own entity and not as a Cryptopsy album, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's just it's a pretty good deathcore album. I don't hate it. There's some catchy songs on. But as a Cryptopsy album, it's the worst. It's not Cryptopsy. It doesn't sound like Cryptopsy. So this is the abomination. This is the black sheep of the discography. Kind of ruins the good name because I love every other fucking Cryptopsy album. Every other one is amazing. This one stands out. I don't hate it, but with the Cryptopsy name, it does, it's not the fucking same. So that being said, it's coming in last because it's deathcore and it's not what we know and love for Cryptopsy, so of course it's fucking last. Of course it's fucking last. So next up is And Then You'll Beg. So much better. So much fucking better than that. A deathcore album, which I still enjoy, but just not as much as like these albums. These albums are fucking fire. The reason this one's a bit lower, is the vocals on this one are a bit substandard. You know, they're a bit substandard. The whole sound of it is a bit weird, but the riffs fucking hit. The songwriting's amazing. I love the songs. I love riffs. I love the guitar. And even the vocals, you get used to them. But they are a bit jarring at first. You know, they are a bit jarring, but I still find enjoyment in this album. I still think it's fucking awesome. We Bleed is fucking amazing. Voice of Unreason as well. Yeah, you know, so many good songs on this album. It's just the vocals are a bit weak. You got to admit, they're a bit weak on this album, but doesn't stop it from being a fucking amazing album, and I still jam it a lot. And I think it's fucking good. So, yeah, second to last is this one. So next up is Once Was Not, The Return of Lord Worm, and you'd think I'd have this a bit higher than some of the newer vocalists, and, you know, I thought that too, because, you know, the fucking classics and all that, but I prefer the songs on some of the other albums. That's what I'm going to say. I prefer the songs and the sound of the other albums. This album's more experimental, kind of like that one I was just mentioning. It is more experimental, more avant-garde than straight up fucking just intensity all the way through. Like the self-title, which is... But this is not like that. It has intensity, it has brutality, it has the best vocals. Come on, Lord Worm's fucking legend. But songwriting wise, I do think I just prefer, it's fucking personal preference. I prefer the self-titled, I prefer Whisper Supremacy, prefer the first two to this one, and the EPs. But this is still a fucking fantastic album. Carrion Shine's awesome. The Frantic Pace of Dying, Keeping the Cadaver Dogs Busy. Too many good songs on this one. The vocals are fucking intense. The music is intense. Everything's fucking intense, but it's just... I'm not a big fan of avant-garde music. I just don't think it's as good as some of the others, and that's all I'm going to say. It's still an amazing album. I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I still jam it a lot. I still love it. It's just going lower on my list. Yeah, I was just going low on my list. That's all I can say. And there's a lot of love for this album. Most people have this number 3. You know, most people have this number 3, and I'm having it here because tastes and shit. You know, tastes differ. So let's move on to the next one. Next up is Whisper Supremacy. I fucking love the vocals on this one. Sure, it's not Lord Worm, but oh my god, it's fucking fantastic anyway. Holy shit. I love the frantic nature of those vocals on this one. It's evil, it's brutal, and the music is just as fucking chaotic as the first two albums, just as chaotic. The sound of it is very dark as well. It's a very dark sounding album. The album cover's amazing, and the songs are amazing. Emaciate, holy shit. Cold Hate, Warm Blood, White Worms, oh my god, every song's fucking amazing on this album. I love this album. I love it. You know, it's a 9. It's going high. It's going fucking high. This album's amazing, and the art is fucking fantastic as well. Cryptopsy have really good art. Like in the older days, they have really good art. This is no different. I love this album. It's going high. Going here. So next up is the self-titled Cryptopsy, the newest album by Cryptopsy, not including the EPs. Holy shit. When you thought they kind of died with the previous album, you know, when you thought they died with the deathcore sound, they just jumped straight back out the earth. They fucking resurrected, and they made the heaviest album they've ever fucking done. This album blew my goddamn brains out. This album blew my fucking head off. I listened to this with Jamie, and he was like, what the absolute fuck is this? Like, it's so heavy. This is so heavy. It's just ridiculously heavy, and I love it for that. I love it for that. The technical nature of it, the heaviness of it, the vocals are fucking amazing. The vocals are fucking amazing. Obviously not as good as Lone Worm, obviously, but still fucking amazing. This is how you come back from a shitty album. This is how you do it. And starting off with that fucking first song, £2 Torch. Oh my god. £2 Torch. It just instantly you know, it's like a freight train just goes through your skull. Freight train goes through your skull and it looks like I'm just fisting someone. Yeah, it's like you're fisting someone with a fucking jackhammer. That's how good it is. Internal rupturing and everything. This album knocks your fucking teeth out. Yeah, I don't understand why people have this really low. This album's amazing. Sure, it's not the same vocalist, but I'm going to give it some love. I'm going to put it number fucking 3. So number 2 is Blasphemy Made Flesh, the debut. And it's just as chaotic, just as evil, just as crazy as the classic Non So Vile. Just as good, pretty much on the same level. It surprised me how fucking good it was, to be honest. Because I heard Non So Vile first, and I was like, nothing's gonna beat this. This is crazy. And then I listened to the debut and I was like, holy shit, this may beat it. This may beat it. It obviously it didn't because it's number 2, but it's by a fucking hair. This album is flawless. Fucking flawless. And that original art is amazing. I don't know why they changed the art. Whoever changed the art, fuck you. Abigor, Born Headless, Swine of the Cross, Memories of Blood. Every song kicks your face in. Every song is brutal. It's brutal death metal, of course it's going to be brutal, but they do it on a whole nother level. There's a whole nother level. I adore this album. I adore it. It's one of the best brutal death metal albums ever made. And it's only number 2, so you know number 1, of course, is Non So Vile. Got the fucking hoodie. I love that album to pieces. Every song is just as good as any song on Blasphemy Made Flesh. Just as good. And the art, even better. Crown of Horns, Slit Your Guts, Phobophile. Come on, these songs are classics. You all know this one. I mean, this is a cliche pick, putting this top, but it's just one that I love, you know, so I'm not going to lie. I love this album. It's just too catchy. It's the best album, come on. This and Blasphemy, easily the 2 best, and there's no arguments here. Fucking easily the 2 best. You can argue about the other ones all you want. Can't argue about these 2. These 2 fucking great albums. Love them from start to finish. And you should too. So that's my ranking for Cryptopsy's albums from weakest to strongest. Let me know down below what's your favourite, what's your least favourite, and do you like the Unspoken King? Let me know down below, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.